welcome back to LinkedIn Logs, the jobs podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Welcome back in. Here we are doing another live streamed episode of the jobs podcast. How many times did I mess up on deploying the theme song? 2 or 3 times. But that's not important. What's important is that you're here. Okay. We've got a couple of stories to talk about. I've got 0 updates on my job life. People think it's easy. Again, people think it's so easy that we're all choosing to hop around and be jobless. Let me tell you, that is not the case. We're fresh off of returning from, Maverick and I are fresh off of returning from the dog park. He's over there resting, scratching himself, licking himself in places that are not appropriate for this podcast. Me, I'm still sweating from outside. Even though it's October and it should be just a little bit less hot, I'm sweating my butts off. My butts, I have 2 butts. All right, let's get on with the first story. This one comes from CNBC. Where is the... See, this is what happens when I try to do things. This comes from CNBC. It's written by Jeff Cox. The shutdown meant no jobs report. Carlisle's analysis shows it would have been pretty bad. This comes in twofold, as Mr. Cox has hinted at in his headline. One, we are at the beginning of a government shutdown. Maybe we're in the middle. Maybe we're at the end. Who knows? Judging by how one side is, I'm thinking that this will go on as long as it possibly needs to go on. So we're in the midst of a government shutdown. I saw an article this morning where people have been furloughed. People are working. Federal workers are working without pay. I saw an article this morning from Channel 2 Action News, WSB TV here in Atlanta, Georgia, the affiliate, who refused to hire me. And even though I'm better than most of the people that work there. Anyway, the article headline was the story of the story. Jesus Christ. The story was that people who are working, federal workers who are working without pay, at Delta, I believe, at the airport, at the Atlanta airport, get meal vouchers while they're on the job. So full-time people get 2 meal vouchers, part-time people get 1 meal voucher. And then other small services, but the meal voucher was the headlining part of that. And I just thought, what happens when they go home? Because a lot of people working full-time and part-time, people live paycheck to paycheck, and let's not pretend that doesn't happen. Even people who are making a lot of money sometimes live paycheck to paycheck because they're bad with money. I swear to God, you give me money, I will not be bad with money. Oh. At most, I will buy some workout equipment, but that's it. And even still, it wouldn't be like big, expensive stuff. One of them is really expensive. But that's it. It's not even big. It's small, but it's super expensive. Let's just say it's $2,000. And I don't need it, but God dang it, do I want it. And then the second part, because I mentioned, remember 5 minutes ago, I said it was twofold. The second part of this is that a couple of weeks ago, I did an episode concerning the what was it? The job numbers changing and having to be reconfigured. The numbers that seemed decent earlier this year all had to drop by a lot of numbers and be reevaluated, which happens every single year, but it was a substantial drop. And the jobs report that would have come out to display the September numbers would have shown that the employment growth was flat in September. And that news comes from the investment giant Carlyle. It would have showed anemic payroll gains Other indicators painted a brighter picture. The firm said underlying GDP growth was running at a 2.7% annualized pace. Now, the firm said its proprietary data showed job growth, this is what Cox wrote, of just 17,000 for the month, which would have been less than the 22,000 gain in August, reflected by the Bureau of Labor Statistics data. Holy moly. Last week, payrolls processing firm ADP reported a loss of 32,000 jobs in the private sector, though that included a reduction stemming from adjustments to BLS revisions. It seems to me that the job situation is getting worse, and I'm along with a lot of other people, are concerned about the turn in which this country is taking or has taken. It appears as though, as we get more reliant on AI tools to take over smaller jobs that no one cares about, as we see ICE and the government crack down on quote unquote illegals and boot them out of the country, and now people who would usually do a lot of labor jobs are afraid to go out and get those jobs, or afraid to work because of the risks that are involved with that at this point. And then we have, just company, is that a word? Yeah. Companies consolidating and becoming smaller just so they can save a buck or two, and then just throwing jobs away left and right. There does not seem to be any sort of growth that can come at some point in the future. There's nothing to look forward to. If Peloton and Microsoft raise their subscription prices, Xbox raise their subscription prices, where are people supposed to get that extra money from? It's expensive to enjoy things, to do things, to live. Now, Carlisle said underlying gross domestic product growth was running at 2.7% annualized pace in September, while business investment accelerated 4.8% on a 3-month average annual rate. I don't know what that means. They also reported that consumer prices for energy declined 3.8%, while services excluding shelter, a key Federal Reserve data point, rose 3.3%. What if they included shelter? Because I'll tell you, my rent went up by more percentage than it's ever gone up. Carlisle pick and chose. They received their data from its quote expansive global portfolio, which includes around 277 companies, 694 real estate investments, and 730,000 employees. So they have a wide swath of coverage there. But with the 694 real estate investments, they really should have included the energy, consumer prices for energy, including shelter. I wonder what's going to happen. And these are all just guesstimates from one analyst company. But I wonder what's going to happen. Where is this going to put the American people? Where are people supposed to get jobs from? Are we? The thing is, you always hear that just go do your own thing. But right now there are so many avenues to do something, and there's no right or wrong. But however, a lot of people are doing the exact same thing, and everything is just so online now. Meaning that, and not in a way that everything get to do everything online, but I'm saying that everything is online in that. If somebody wants to be a quote unquote influencer, then they have to compete with a million other people doing the exact same thing. And I'm probably low on that number. If hey, I want to make my own healthcare stuff. Well, there's, big companies doing the same thing, and also a million other people trying to do the same thing. So why would someone come to you to do that? Is what I'm saying. And this raises the question, is everybody going to be a contract worker at some point? Are we all going to be contract workers? I haven't had healthcare in such a long time. And God dang it, dude, I not want to go to a doctor. I would love to go to a doctor at this point. Ugh. Have someone just tell me that the lump is bad or good. I'm kidding, there's no lump. Hey, I want to talk about this. This is a story that came out a couple of weeks ago, but it comes from Reuters and a lot of other places. You son of a bitch. Don't you dare lock me out of this story that I read on my phone. How dare you? How dare you? And I'm going to get around it. Don't you friggin' worry about it. I'm going to get around it. We know that there is a Broadway, what's it called? Strike coming. This comes from Don Chmielewski over there at Reuters. Oh, you better believe I found a way to get around that damn paywall. Broadway actors prepare to strike, the union says. The big factor behind the strikes are the healthcare contributions, which is key to negotiations. In the same way that there were the AI stuff was key to negotiations for the SAG actors. The contract ended on September 28th, and it will be the first strike, as seen here thanks to Out.com, since 1968. There's a website called Time Out as well, and I think that is a right-wing website. So I have to make sure, because Out.com is the gay one. And then Time Out is the... Is it Time Out? I think it's Time Out. Let me see. Timeout.com. Nope. That's not the website. There is a racist website that involves the word out, and I just don't remember which one. Now, the union, you should want to support this, especially if you love Broadway. These actors do not, and I'll say this, everybody on Broadway, unless you're a big star, does not get paid enough, with the exception of the producers and the people who write the music. Other than that, these people are, this is like, truly in some of the cases, if you don't play a big role, this is a day job. Broadway actors are going to shut down at least 32 stage productions as theater attendance approaches its peak season. This is according to the Actors Equity Union. They represent 900 current Broadway performers and stage managers. They have not yet reached a new labor contract, and I believe the negotiations have been ongoing since the summer, but the 3-year contract ended September 28th. Now, again, I mentioned the bargaining, the central issue in bargaining is the healthcare, but also the contribution the Broadway League makes to the union's healthcare fund. Now, the executive director and lead negotiator, Al Vincent Jr., said the union is asking Broadway's employers to increase their contribution to the healthcare fund, which is projected to fall into a deficit by next May. It's the best thing to do, and it's fair. Now, this Brooke Shields, who's an Actors Equity president, said in a statement to Reuters that she tore her meniscus on a Broadway show and continued dancing on it painfully, in quotes, for 3 months. If you don't have healthy actors, what happens? Oh, you get an understudy. Okay, what happens when the understudy's not healthy? The show can't go on. And if people are dancing, I only think of Broadway as musicals. If people are moving on stage in pain 8 nights a week, 8 days a week. Look, I got the Beatles stuck in my head. But if they're moving in pain 8 shows a week, then that's not going to help anybody in the long run. Now that I'm back at the Out.com letter. Oh, article. The union's letter to producers listed 3 demands: pivot toward humane scheduling, including providing appropriate paid time off to keep everyone in the best shape possible to do the work, pay your fair share to health insurance, and reasonably and safely staff our workplaces to foster safety and prevent emergencies. The union is requesting, and this is a specific number I did not see on the Reuters article, a $4 million increase in contributions from the producers. Producers, again, make a lot of money. Barring, the Hamilton phenom and I'm sure whatever Andrew Lloyd Webber gets for his litany of shows on Broadway, there are other producers who make a great living because they hopped on board of a play that has done spectacularly well, and they are taking that money and maybe putting it back into the show. Maybe they're putting it into other shows. Maybe they're just continually saving money. I don't think that's happening. But a strike is the last resort. It's not exactly what these people want to do because they don't get paid during a strike. They're not like TV people. They don't get residuals. Now, a lot of them you'll see on Law and Order, but that's about it. Again, some of these people are just working Broadway workers and nothing else. That's not a dig on them. Back at the Reuters article, Kaylin Seckel, an ensemble cast member of Disney's The Lion King and understudy to Nala Sarabai. And look, The Lion King has been going on for a very long time. She said she ruptured her Achilles tendon during a 2022 performance and had to be carried off stage by her scene partner. She underwent surgery to repair the injury and lengthy physical therapy to help her return to the stage. Although workers' compensation covered many of her medical expenses, she relied on her union's health care to pay for acupuncture and other treatments. That was 3 years ago, she says. And I require, to this day, other procedures and more physical therapy that I was denied under workers' comp. Oof. It's very important that we take care of these people and that, Broadway continues to function. If these shows go off stage, then again, as I mentioned, these people don't get paid. And a lot of these shows are shows that you have seen or want to see and you will continue to see. They include new ones like Anne Juliet, fairly new ones like Aladdin, Book of Mormon, Buena Vista Social Club, which I guess is a remount, I think. Chicago, Death Becomes Her, Great Gatsby, Hadestown, Hamilton, Harry Potter, and The Cursed Child, I believe. Hell's Kitchen, that's still running? Jesus. I listened to Hell's Kitchen is the Alicia Keys one. I listened to the album, and it is a jukebox musical, and it's not bad because again I have not seen it, but there's like moments in the show. It's a lot like Anne Juliet, which is again a jukebox musical. But there's moments in Hell's Kitchen where she's like, God, I just love being here in New York. Oh my God. And then they sing Empire State of Mind or, whatever. Or like No One, where it comes out of nowhere. It's like, I just want you close. I think it's so fucking stupid. Oh my God. I have multiple Broadway playlists and that is on the jukebox musical one. It's not on the main one. A main one's a catch-all for the best of the best. It's mostly Hamilton and Rent and Les Mis. But then, and Chicago, but then just putting that in there's insane. Just in Time, Lion King, Maybe Happy Ending, MJ, Moulin Rouge, Oh Mary, Operation Mincemeat, excuse me. Outsiders 6, Welcome to the Show, Stranger Things, Waiting for Godot, and Wicked. There's a lot of IP on this. Then there are also upcoming shows that will be affected in the next few weeks, including Chess, Queen of Versailles, Liberation, Little Bear, Ridge Road, Two Strangers, and Oedipus. I guess Oedipus never leaves. Oedipus goes away for a couple of years and comes back. No, I'm thinking of Equus. I'm getting things mixed up. Unaffected shows include Mamma Mia, Punch, Ragtime, and Beetlejuice, and then there's also a Muppet Magic Show. This is somebody linked. Excuse me. So this is a Reddit post, and somebody asked what shows are affected in the top article or commenter. I don't know how internet works. We have to support the actors. We have to support everybody. It's, when people see a Broadway actor or an actor, I'm going to use that as a catch-all term. When people see a Broadway actor, they think that person is successful and rich and they're able to do everything that they possibly can. But no, I'm sure the understudy to Leslie Odom Jr. who took over his role in Hamilton again for a little bit of time. I'm sure that person's not getting paid the same as Leslie Odom Jr. They're not getting paid the same, and I'm not just sure, I'm positive. They're not getting paid, the understudy is not getting paid the same as Patti LuPone in whatever show she's on right now, or Leah Michele, or the rest. Don't ask me to name anyone else. Kumail Nanjiani's in O'Mara right now, so don't, I wonder why the Beetlejuice is not affected. Support your actors. Support everybody. Support this. They're not making money, and imagine if you were in this situation. Hey, listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website cpluscomedy.com where you can see where everything lives. If you want to see a video version of this show, go to youtube.com/cpluscomedy where you can see me talking to famous people sometimes under the show, the interviews. You can also listen to watch the other podcasts, The Constitutionals, which is the entertainment business news podcast, and Late Night Lately, the late night show. Subscribe to those shows wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on social media at Blue Sky, TikTok, and Instagram at C+Comedy. Me at Chad Black White. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.